Good morning. Sprayer. Dad's gonna do some spraying on some corn stalks. The last few years we've been doing a lot of fall burn down spraying to control the weeds in our corn stalks. Keeps them really clean in the spring. It's worked really well for us. I think he's just using 2,4-D. Anyway, he's getting started with that today. I'm gonna jump in the semi. We're gonna haul some dry corn here this morning, and then we'll get back to shelling later this afternoon. Phil is already gone with the other truck. He left me the truck with the auto tarp on it. It's the older Volvo. He's got his nice truck, but I got the truck with the auto tarp, so that's good. I'm probably only gonna make 2 rounds today. This morning here, we'll take the one that we're already loaded with, and then we'll come back and load up and take a second one. We've got 3 loads in the overhead. But Phil's taking the one now, and then he'll beat me back, and he'll end up taking 2 out of the overhead. I'll just take 1, which is fine. Well, not that you can see, but we've made it to the elevator. They're dumping the truck for me. I'll wait for that to empty and then hit the outbound scale and go back and get our second load. If I had my GoPro, I'd set it up and do a little time lapse. I don't have one. I should go get it. It's in the tractor. Outbound scale, 26,240 is our tear weight. We'll wait for our ticket to print. Grab that. And away we go. What do we have? 1,127.143 bushels. 14.5 moisture, 58.8 test weight, 2 FM. That's a good load. And the $428 cash price because we're delivering on a contract. That helps too. Load her up. Pulled forward just a little too far. I'd like to be in the center of those 2 bows, not at the back edge of it, but it'll be fine. Doesn't matter. So we'll load this up here. We'll pull ahead to the middle of the next 2 bows, and then we'll load the back. Good. our trip, round trip through the time lapse. I got back, the overhead is empty, or it was empty. Phil has got the dryer started up, so we're drying corn into the overhead now, so we can haul some out. We've got one light on our wet bin here, none of the other ones, so there can't be much corn in there. I'm just gonna stick around here and watch that. No big deal. We're still drying corn. Phil came back and loaded another one out of the overhead, so there's less than a full load in there right now. There's still some in the wet bin, but it can't be much. I'm gonna go up and check our big bin. We're gonna see, I don't know where we're at, if we can get any corn in it yet or not. Here's the little one. It's a 45,000 bushel bin, and it's pretty full. There's a little room on that side yet, but it filled uneven, and this side is full. So, not getting any more in there. This bin is full of soybeans. We'll go see what we got up here. Not full, at least not here. Let's go in and see what we got around the perimeter and make sure it's not filling too uneven that we can't top it off. Looks relatively even from here. Let's try and get up here. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, it is low on that side. Okay. Yeah, we can put more corn in here. How do we get it to fill that side? We've got this distributor up here. This big old thing that spins around. And it's supposed to fill it evenly and spread it. It's not, they don't work very good. We do have a nice pile in the center, which is good, but we're way high by the door compared to that side. It's off by at least a full ring, if not a ring and a half. So, I don't know. We can dry some more corn into here though. We can get some corn in here. So up here on the top, we can open these access holes, and you can see there's some tabs or whatever we can bend in those on that little funnel to help direct the corn. We need it to go that way, not that way. So I made a couple of small tweaks to it, and then we also have this additional little piece, this right here, that we can put in there, and it sticks down farther and it helps push grain to the other side. So we'll try that. Not that it's that big a deal if we get another 3 or 4, 5,000 bushels of grain in that bin. Like, it's nice to get it full, but we're gonna have to keep moving stuff for cash flow purposes anyway, so it doesn't make a whole lot of difference, really. That's a very large grain bin. Very large. Alright, make the trip back down. Trucker's back. We're gonna load him up and he's gonna take one more. I'm waiting for Dad to finish spraying and then we're gonna go shell corn. Look how clean that corn is. There's just a tiny little bit of stuff in it, cob or stick. You don't see much. That is really clean. Beautiful looking stuff. Would have yielded another % or 2 more if we would have just left the cob in. Oh well, combine's too good at its job. Dang John Deere combines, they're clean samples. Let's go shell corn. So we're jumping across the ditch over there. We dropped a truck off over at the field. That field's got a grass spot where we can park trucks and stuff. So he's gonna go out the driveway. I'm gonna let him go out. I still got some corn on here. How much do we have? 20,000? Yep, 19.9. So we gotta unload that before we can do anything, but I'm gonna go through the field, go out the other driveway that's a little bit closer so I don't have to go on the road quite as much loaded. Well, we're moving along here. Got the field opened up. Dad dug a hole through the middle. We got some long rows here. Let's see. Field looks like that. So these are half-mile long rows here, and then we got to work around the trees and the woods and stuff. But we'll get this block here done for now. He dug this hole so we can dump going towards the road. I think it's pretty decent corn. I have my iPad. Sometimes it's connected and sometimes it's not. I don't know why right now it is not. There it is. Yeah, 240 here, 250. It's not as consistently good as the other stuff was. We got some red back there from some wildlife damage. That spot, that's where the chicken litter pile was last year. Interesting that the coon decided to eat that spot where the chicken litter was. But yeah, it's decent corn. Well over 200 bushel average so far. It should keep climbing. Of course, then we got hedgerows along trees that are going to kill it. So, you know, there's that. Dad comes on and says, my cleaning fan speed sensor went off. And I'm like, what does that mean? He said it went to 0. Well, it would shut the whole combine down. So we're just going to stop and look at stuff here real quick. Make sure our fan's still running, which it clearly is because all that trash stuck to the side means that it's sucking air. It's still running because all that stuff is stuck on there.
Maybe the trash is something, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's a magnetic sensor. See how it stopped and all that fell off? Well, there's the sensor, and Dad says, well, the light's on, it's hot, it says it's working. Well, that's a problem. Fan bearing's out. So, we're gonna have to fix that one. Alright, question is can we fix that here, or do we need to take it back to the farm? I don't know. I don't think it's too terribly hard to do. While it's tempting to say, let's just finish and we'll worry about it later, that will destroy that fan and the housing and the bearing holder and everything else. Can't do that. It doesn't look like a terribly hard fix, so we're gonna pull it up by the house here and see if we can get stuff tore apart. See if we can get the bearing out of there and what kind of stuff we might have. It's 3 o'clock, so if I can get stuff tore apart and figured out what we need in the next hour and a half, I can get parts tonight probably. Alright, I had a truck loaded, so I came back with Phil to the farm to get a few tools while Dad was working on that, getting that bearing apart. So we're going to go back and see if he's got it. I think we're going to have to go get one. Well, that must not have been too hard. There's grease in there. We did not grease it. Might not have greased it enough, but it had grease. Alright, we're going to get this race off. Good luck.
Might have to take that.
Alright, well, I dropped Dad off at his truck that we had taken over when we got the equipment when we started this morning. He's going to work on getting that race off of there. I'm going to run and get the parts. It's just a bearing. Everything else is fine. We caught it in time. Didn't wreck anything, so we're going to, we should be able to get it fixed. I looked it up. The dealer's got one. Not that big a deal. Might cost us 2 hours just because it's going to take me time to go and get the part. Close call, you guys. It was a close call. When I was looking up the parts, I didn't look at the direction of travel arrow, and the bearings are different on each side of that cleaning fan. This drive side has a much heavier bearing, so I got it and I opened the box and looked. I'm like, this looks way too big. So talked to Dad, and he said the shaft diameter should be like 1 inch, and that other one must have been 1.5 inches at least. So I went back in, double checked the parts diagram, and we have the correct bearing. Dad also said when he got that apart that he noticed that the sensor had some wear on it. He said the light was on, it's probably still working, but if they have one, get one. So we have the sensor as well. The bearing was like 30 bucks maybe. The sensor was 115, but that's all we got into it. No big deal. So we'll head back and we'll get it put back together before it gets dark on us. All right, we're back at the field here. We got to clean this shaft up. Dad got the old bearing race off, which is good, but we still got some paint and stuff on here, and the new one is very tight. It's not going to slide on there until we get that paint off. So he's getting some emery cloth, sandpaper, something we can clean that off with a little bit better. I was looking at this sensor, and you can see it's definitely got some wear on it, but I don't have the right torques to be able to change that. So it still works. It's one of those things that we're probably just going to limp it through harvest, and then we'll put the new one on after we're done with after we're going through stuff in the winter. But let's get the bearing on and get it running before it gets dark, preferably, which is coming real fast. Okay, did you tighten these bolts back up?
I did.
Okay, good. We got that back on there. This piece is the locking collar, but it's also the sensor. So this magnet, this is a magnetic sensor. It senses these going past. That's how it determines how fast it's spinning. So you can see it was rubbing there a little bit when that bearing went out. It allowed it to get into there and rub. But I think it still works. Like I said, we'll probably replace it, but it's probably a winter project as long as it's still working. Okay, we got everything good, put back together. I'm going to have him run it real quick. before we put the shields back on so that I can watch it here. Just make sure everything looks good there. There's another speed sensor there. You got a fan speed reading? Okay, should be good. Shut it off! Let me put the shields back on. Well, I'm not sure what time it was when that broke, but we got her up and running. It wasn't that big deal. The hardest thing was, for the longest part of that, was just going to get the part. So always pick up the dropped ears and throw them in the head when you get a chance. Just in time too, because when that sun goes down, it gets real cold out real fast. Brr! I do have 2 jackets in here. I just didn't take the time to get them. Like I said, it gets dark quicker around here. I'm glad we got that combine fixed and put back together. Yeah, so we'll see how far we make it. We got a couple of trucks full since we started back up. We got 26 acres done. If we could get down to 40 to go, 35, we might be able to finish tomorrow. I guess you can't read that, can you? So we got 52 to go right now. So we'll see how late Dad wants to work tonight. We're gonna get these long rows here done. He's almost got those done, and then maybe we can get at least some of that behind the house opened up along the trees and stuff, and keep making progress. All right, Dad is on the last pass of the long rows. He's gonna get to the end there and then jump over here, and I guess he does have 8 rows or something along the trees here in the woods, and then we have more end rows that go across there. So yeah, gonna do a little bit here and then do these ends and open that up, and then we'll end up behind the house. But yeah, making some progress. So we are down to 45 acres. 45. Phil just came on the radio, said we got a tire going down on the combine, a rear tire. Stop. We got a rear tire that is flat, and he is right, we do. Left rear. Shut your combine down. All right, well boys, I gotta go watch tomorrow's YouTube video. Sorry, it is getting exciting, but that's what it is. End the TikTok live here. Well, that will end the night real fast. We've got a deer antler stuck in a tire. We just did the end rows in the back along the woods there, and Dad cut through the middle here, and then we had to unload on the end, so I was sitting at the truck with the grain cart unloading, and Phil come on the radio and was trying to get a hold of Dad and told him to stop because a tire that looked low. So he stopped here real quick and pulled the cart up, and sure enough, it's flat. We can't catch a break, man. Cannot catch a break. Oh well. We'll make some phone calls in the morning and see if we can't find a tube, maybe, is our best bet. I don't know. Well, bummer. That's not how we wanted to end the night. Now we've got a project for the morning. Hopefully we can find somebody that's got a tube for that size tire, and we can get the antler pulled out and do that. But it's got to get jacked up or broken off of the bead and all of that stuff. And I don't know. We'll see if we can't get it fixed. So anyway, thanks for watching this one. Have a great night. Tomorrow, maybe tomorrow will be the last day of harvest. I thought it would be. We should be able to, grain-wise. There should be, yeah. We'll have to haul some corn out in the morning. I've got some seed stuff to do tomorrow. Tomorrow's a major deadline day for me, so I'm going to work on that a little bit. But yeah, we're fine. We're in good shape. Weather's good. We got time. It's all right. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.